So I just want every American to be on the same page when the terrorist attack happens here in America. You know, we made a few mistakes in the Charlie Kirk assassination, or we learned quite a bit in the Charlie Kirk assassination, I should say. And one of the things that we've learned was when an attack or an event happens, it is mission critical that you continue filming. You pull out your phone, you don't stop filming. Cut your videos in 5 or 10 minute increments, so start and stop recording instantly again, so that way you have multiple videos and multiple takes. That way if one video gets burnt or corrupted, you're not losing the entire file. So it's super important to actually have our phones out, be recording when it happens, and don't stop. And then one of the most important videos was a gentleman who, after the event happened, he walked around and just interviewed everybody. Talked to everybody he could, spend an extra hour or two long. That was a full 1 hour long video where he was just walking around the campus at the Charlie Kirk assassination filming. So these are all things that when these attacks happen, we all know it's going to be Israel. And we all know that it's going to be Israeli Mossad assets dressed like fucking Iranian terrorists. They're going to put fake passports in there. They're going to blow shit up. We're also being told that they're going to target civilian areas that only have one like high casualty trauma center in the city. So that way, when a mass casualty event happens, everybody heads to the one trauma unit. And then at that trauma unit, they're already going to have alleged sleeper cells that are dressed like law enforcement officers that are actually going to be Israeli terrorists. And they're going to open fire on the wounded victims that are coming into the triage units to get help. So these are all things that we should be well aware of, especially if you work in a medical facility. Like, it is going to be massively important for you to be paying attention and recording as the fucking people are coming in. Or as soon as the event happens, if it happens in your town and you work at a hospital, you need to be filming everybody. Every single person coming in and out of those doors. You never know who's going to be the sleeper cell and who's going to be the agents undercover. And that's what you guys want to really make sure that you're kind of just staying on top of. You're paying attention to these things, because we know it's going to be Israel. We know they're going to try to blame Iran. And this time, we're not letting our government get away with it. This time, they're not covering this shit up. This time, they're not using this as an excuse to drive us into a ever-friending fucking war. I'm not sending my kids off to die. You're not sending your kids off to die. No matter how many of us they blow up here in America, which is going to be coming very, very soon. You can bookmark this tweet. We almost guarantee you all of the writing is on the walls. And big shout out to Shadow of the Ezra for sure in this one, because Ted Cruz is laying the groundwork for it right now. Check this out.
Concerned about sleeper cells. There's been discussion of that.
Look, the risk of terrorism right now is quite high. We tragically saw in Austin, Texas, just last weekend, we saw a terrorist attack. We also saw another terrorist attack in New York City. There is a heightened danger of terrorism right now, and I will say it is particularly indefensible that Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security while we are facing an enhanced terrorist risk. The Department of Homeland Security exists to guard against terrorist attacks. The danger has never been higher than right now, particularly after 4 years of open borders under Joe Biden. We know that radical Islamic terrorists entered this country, and there's a vulnerability all across this country. It is disgraceful and indefensible for the Democrats to vote party line not to fund the Department of Homeland Security right now. We need to open it up and fully fund it.